Hi, Terrilynn, traveling artista. I was about to start preparing some surfaces for myself this morning, and I thought, why not share tips and techniques? So I'm going to try this as a new playlist, tips and techniques. This happens to be with pastels, and I'm going to walk you through it. Now I want to bring the camera closer so you can see what I'm doing here. Here are some of my supplies. Now, I started out with some BFK print paper, but you can use almost any sort of pastel paper, like the mi-tinte, the Canson mi-tinte that doesn't have any texture to it, or watercolor paper, or a nice acid-free drawing paper, anything like that. I also have some of these plastic sheets. They're what I got off from some of the frames come with these already in them. I don't use them over my paintings at all because the static will pull the pastel off from the painting and stick to this. Anyway, but they're very handy for taping paper to in order to paint on it. And what I've done here is I've started out by taking a number of sheets that I've cut up, and I have taped them with just masking tape to the other side of this acrylic sheet. So there I have my BFK paper, and it's taped down on the edges. Normally, if the plastic were longer than the paper, I would also tape it on the other side, but I'm going to try this. I don't think it will buckle too much, the paper itself, and that tape will help hold it so as it dries, it'll dry flatter. Hoping. Anyway, now I have here my fine pumice gel. This is an acrylic medium and has fine pumice in it. I have a good amount of this, so I want to use this up. I've heard there's a number of other products as well, but for right now we're going to use this one. I also have a palette knife. That's just to dig out the pumice gel from the jar. I have a potter's rib. This is called a rib. It's kind of hard plastic. I like it because it has a rounded edge to it right here that will keep it from, as I'm moving along, having a line in it. This corner piece will probably have a line. So I'm going to try a couple of these sheets with just this flattened out on top with a pumice gel, and then I may put some out and then use a basic hardware store bristle brush like this and just add a little texture to some of them, and then I'm going to play with them. I find that the pieces with texture are very interesting because they create some unexpected element in the painting, and that can be a good thing, or sometimes it's not such a good thing. But I like to have that variety and play around with it. The other aspect is I am not super happy with painting directly on white all the time, especially with pastels. So this white sheet will allow me, after the pumice gel is on and dried, that I can come over it with some pan pastels. I can rub in some background texture. I can use a little light acrylic paint for color, or even watercolor on that. So that's how the different aspects can be used with this one sheet of paper. All right, now we're going to start. Okay, taking the pumice gel, opening this up, just getting out my palette knife, spreading this around quite a bit. It dries rather quickly. I mean, it is acrylic. Actually, this might be kind of fun just to have some of these lines left showing. I'm aiming for this piece of paper. I can feel it, the moisture is making it buckle a little bit already. But I'm looking for a 12 by 18. So this is on a 16 by 20 piece of acrylic. That's why the little extra. So I'm not too worried about finishing those edges. You want to bring it out as far as you can and cover the sheet, because you don't want an odd little edge. And I had that in one of my last paintings, this vignette of non-textured sections of paper on the edge, and it ended up getting a little bit in the way of the edge of my painting. So I'm going to try to just leave this one. I might not even need that potter's rib, because this palette knife seems to be doing a really good job. It's going to have a couple little ridges in here, but that might add some interest to it. Okay. Now I'm just going to set that aside in a flat area to allow it to dry until it's ready to use, and then I can add a surface after, surface color. Here's my next sheet. This time I am going to add the pumice gel on, spread it about, and then I'm going to add the bristle brush strokes to it, bringing that out to the edge, keeping it from there into the center, trying to spread it as evenly as possible at this point. I do like that palette knife picking that up. That happens really quickly, pulling that pumice gel right out of that jar. All right. See, so I'm going along. I'm getting faster and spreading easier. Also, as I come down towards finishing it up, I will use a lighter touch, just kind of skimming that palette knife across the surface in order to make the surface more even. Now I'm going to take this bristle brush, just back and forth, kind of twisting it, brushing over the top of the pumice on the paper to add a little texture. Hopefully later on I can get a little still shot for you so you can see what it's like. I'm not seeing a lot of texture at this point as I look into the light, but we'll see how it goes. I also have a rag here, and my rag is damp, so that when I'm done I can clean my tools quickly and easily before taking them to the sink and washing them off. I always take good care of my tools. So we'll see how this dries and what happens after. So just a reminder, I am the great experimenter. I will experiment with almost anything. And sometimes that's good, and sometimes it keeps me away from actually painting, but you need the surfaces. And the reason I'm using the pumice gel on paper and other surfaces like a hardboard or even an acid-free foam core, you can do it right on that. I do that because a lot of people find the manufactured pastel papers very expensive. You can get a full-size sheet of Sennelier paper for about $20 for one sheet. I'm always looking for things that are a little more efficient. I paint quickly. I don't have a lot of money, so that's why I do these things. Now, in the past I've used other tools. I tried this sponge brush to spread the pumice gel around. It's okay, not too bad. I've tried this knife here, and that tends to leave sharp edges because of these edges that are here, where the palette knife has rounded edges and it's smoother and it works very well. Plus it's a little more flexible. The metal's a little more flexible. I have also used these small 4-inch rollers, and I've rolled it across that way. That works okay, but I found that microscopically, as it leaves behind the pumice gel, it creates small little rounded mounds of the gel. And that doesn't catch the pastel as much as getting that pumice to the surface. So smoothing it out or adding texture with a bristle brush, to me, seems to be working really well. Another thing I've used in the past is coarse pumice gel. Now this stuff is like putting sand on your paper. It is very coarse, but I've also had some great experimentations with that. You can't just put pastel over the surface. It just skips over. But there are tricks and techniques to that as well, and I will share that another time, okay? As you're finishing up, do make sure that your strokes on the paper are irregular. Things in nature tend to be irregular. If it's very regular strokes, and any of the edges are left, it's going to look too mechanical, in my opinion. But maybe you want mechanical. Maybe that would be great. Go ahead and play around with it. Then once you're done, I guess just kind of make sure that the edges are not too strong. You want to make sure your tools are clean, right? You wipe them down right off. I will take these to the sink and wash them later. And in your jar, you want to clean that edge, because if you don't clean that edge, this is acrylic and it will act like glue and hold that cover right on that jar. So I clean the edge quite well. Sometimes you want to put a piece of plastic wrap over that. That'll help separate it as well, so it's easier to take off the next time you're getting into your jar. Now, just a little spot. I want to say I love manufactured pastel papers. They are amazing, and there's so many good brands out there, as well as pastel boards. I am not against those at all, but sometimes it just gets financially difficult to keep up with it all the time, especially if you're producing fast and a lot. So I just wanted to say that, because if I had reams and reams, I would be so happy. But I also like these irregular homemade texture as well. So you go ahead and try, and I will show you some of the some of the results when I actually use these papers. It's going to take a little while for these to dry, and then I will add a underpainting to them to add some color before actually starting a pastel. Lots of ideas. Go ahead and share, and share this with anybody you like, and go ahead and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I tried to take a still photograph so you could see the surface texture of this sand, but it's too fine. You really can't see it, but you can definitely hear it. Here is a spot, and there that I've missed, as well as the edge, and in here is where the sand is. So if you listen, you can tell the difference. And now I'm excited to try it out.